Okay, so you found mold in your home. It's super stressful, right? Immediately, your mind starts racing and every single thing you own, from the couch to old photos, suddenly seems questionable. But do you really have to throw it all out? Let's get a clear, practical plan together.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? The second you see it, this panic sets in. You start thinking about losing all your possessions. And look, that's a totally normal reaction. But here's the thing. It's a reaction we can manage with just a little bit of know-how.
So let's just start with the really good news right off the bat. You probably don't have to throw everything away. Phew. While some things are definitely too risky to keep, a lot of your stuff can absolutely be saved. We're going to walk you through how to make those calls safely and with confidence. So here's our game plan, broken down into 4 simple parts. First, we're going to learn the one core principle that makes every single decision a whole lot easier. Then we'll cover the tough stuff, what to toss. After that, the much better news, what you can save. And finally, we'll talk about prevention so you never have to deal with this again. Let's dive in.
Okay, this first idea, it's honestly the key to everything. Once you get the difference between what we call porous and non-porous materials, all the other decisions about what to keep and what to toss become so much simpler. This is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
So, what do we even mean by porous? The best way to think about it is to picture a sponge. It's got all those little holes and channels that just soak up water, right? Well, porous materials do the exact same thing with mold. The mold doesn't just sit on the surface, its roots, or hyphae, grow deep down inside, which makes a simple wipe down totally useless.
All right, let's put this side by side so it really clicks. On one side, you've got porous items, like fabric and cardboard. They act just like that sponge. They soak up moisture, and the mold grows inside the material. But on the other side, non-porous surfaces, like glass or metal, they resist moisture. So any mold is just hanging out right on the surface, which means we can actually clean it off. This one distinction is everything. Now that we've got that rule down, let's get into the tough part, figuring out what has to go. And I know this is never easy, but making these decisions is absolutely crucial for protecting your health and your family's health. Just think about this list for a second. These are all classic porous materials. With a carpet, the mold isn't just on the top fibers you see, it's deep in the padding underneath. Same thing for a mattress or your favorite armchair. It's way down in the stuffing. You can try to clean the surface all you want, but the real problem is still there. And things like cardboard boxes or stuffed animals, they're basically a perfect cozy home for mold, making them pretty much impossible to truly save. Now, when it comes to anything you might eat, this is a total non-negotiable. Any food with mold on it, and that includes pet food, it has to go, period. It's not just about the mold you can see, it's about the invisible toxins that can make you really sick. This also goes for dry goods like flour or rice that were stored in a moldy cabinet because the spores can contaminate everything. And unfortunately, books and wallpaper are other casualties. Paper is just so absorbent. And this is just so important to remember. If you've got anyone in your home who's more vulnerable, we're talking babies, elderly family members, or anyone with asthma or a compromised immune system, you have to be even stricter with these rules. Their bodies are just much more sensitive to mold exposure, so your margin for error is basically 0. You know, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful rule. When in doubt, throw it out. If you're standing there holding something and wondering if it's safe, that's your answer right there. It's not worth risking your health over an object. Okay, we got through the tough stuff. Now for the much better part, the more hopeful section. Let's talk about all the things you can save and walk through exactly how to clean them up safely and effectively. See the pattern on this list? These are all mostly non-porous, or at worst, semi-porous things. Glass, metal, hard plastics. The mold is just on the surface, so you can clean it right off. Most of your clothes can be salvaged with the right washing machine settings. And solid wood, unlike cheap particle board, is dense enough that it can often be cleaned up really well. Now, this is your go-to chart, and it's really important to pay attention here. You might notice we're not just saying bleach everything, and there's a really good reason for that. While a bleach solution is awesome for hard, non-porous surfaces like glass, it's actually not the best choice for something like wood. Why? Because the chlorine can't really get to the mold's roots, and worse, the water in the bleach can actually end up feeding whatever mold is left behind. That's why plain old white vinegar is a much better choice for wood. For your clothes, hot water with your regular detergent and a cup of vinegar is a fantastic combo for killing spores. So how do you actually do this safely? Just follow these 4 steps. Seriously, don't skip any. First, gear up. That means an N95 mask, gloves, and eye protection. No excuses. Second, take the items outside if you can. You don't want to be spreading those spores around your house while you clean. Third, apply the right solution and let it sit for a bit. Give it time to work. And finally, and this is so crucial, dry everything completely. Sunlight is an amazing natural disinfectant, so if you can let things dry in the sun, even better.
All right, you've sorted, you've tossed, and you've cleaned. Awesome work, but we're not quite done. The final step, and maybe the most important, is winning the long game. We have to make sure that mold never comes back. This is all about prevention.
If there is one number you take away from this whole thing, I want it to be this one. Mold needs one thing to survive: moisture. It's that simple. If you can keep the humidity inside your home between 30 and 50%, you are creating an environment where mold just can't get a foothold. A good dehumidifier is your best friend here.
So here's your long-term playbook, your prevention checklist. First and foremost, control moisture. That means fixing any and all leaks the second you find them and using dehumidifiers. Next, improve your ventilation. Run those exhaust fans in the kitchen and bathroom. If you ever have water damage from a spill or a leak, get it bone dry within 24 to 48 hours. And finally, be proactive. Make a habit of checking those classic problem spots, like under the sink, in the basement, or around windows.
And let's wrap up with this one last really crucial thought. Cleaning up all your stuff is just treating the symptom. It's not the cure. Mold is always a sign of a bigger moisture problem. So unless you fix the source, that leaky pipe, the bad ventilation in the bathroom, the crack in the foundation, the mold is just going to come back. The real victory here isn't just saving your belongings. It's creating a healthy home where this is never an issue again.